by 10 Design, and today we're going to get into how to edit your purchase seal. And let me just start by saying thank you. You get a chance, please like, subscribe, and click that bell to get any new alerts, because we are currently now just publishing different videos on different seals that we're creating and some other elements that we're doing as well. So let's get started. So you see a seal, you've seen it on YouTube or Etsy or our website, which we're updating now. And what will happen, what you can expect when you purchase it, you'll see a PDF. In the PDF, it'll give you a link to where to download the content that you see right here in front of you, which is an EPS file, a JPEG file, a PNG file, and an SVG file. So the EPS and the SVG file are generally what you use to edit. Sometimes whatever's going on with Adobe Illustrator, some things can be wonky with that SVG file. So generally the EPS file will be better for that. But for the sake of this video, and no need to worry, we're going to double click on the SVG file, and we're going to talk about what's in the descriptions. And the description below is the general license and the extended license and a mentorship group. What's the difference? Well, the general license covers, like, say you're not feeling doing the edits yourself that you're seeing, but it's pretty simple, and you are like, okay, I just don't want to risk it, and I just want to send it over and let somebody else do it, and we will do that under that general license for free. So under the general license, it covers the wording, the changing of the font, the color, and the wording itself. A lot of times, if there's a longer name, we can redraw it out to fit everything, or creatively, we've seen people just want it on one side and the other side, and the name of the seal of a bishop or anything here, or however you want to word it. I've seen it in Latin, I've done all of these all over the world, and it's different all over the world, believe me. So just to talk about that, that's covered under the license, and if you needed some extended wording, we will add that to it as well. The extended license covers the color. If you want to change the color and changing a element or two inside of here, not too much. And if you want to learn how to do it yourself, you will join our Facebook group, which is about $4.99 a month. Cancel anytime. You just learn how to do it. We have videos, and I go into detail on some things, and you can ask questions throughout. So that's pretty cool. So what I'm going to show you today is how to do the editing of the text and the color, and how to save it, because when you get a chance, look at some of the other videos that we have. I realize that every time I talk about these things, I throw in something new that I didn't know that I was supposed to do. So quickly, so one of the things that we're looking at here, so you're clicking on the image and you're seeing it's not moving. That's on purpose to keep people from generally clicking on here, and I'm going to show you. I'm in the layers pattern. You really don't have to touch this. I did this for your benefit. Or you can go to Windows above, which is not shown on this video, but you can look and see at the top that it says Windows, and you can scroll down to Layers, which I have it selected, or you can hit the hotkey F7. I have a Mac, so I generally don't have it unless I push a couple of other keys. But anyway, so if I have the lock on the main layer of different elements of this particular seal. So if I take the lock off, as you can see, it just compromises and do so much, and you can move it if you're not experienced with it. So when you get it, that lock will be on. If you want to play around with it, you can. So that's in our group on how to edit and do all of the other stuff inside of that particular folder. So now what's available and we have not are the text. So a lot of the times people will say seal of the apostle rather than seal of the bishop or the ministry of or the person's name and the church. I've seen it all. So if that happens, you generally, I will go over to our type tool. I will click in the area of the text and just click. As you can see, this element comes up. I highlight and I minimize it in the side. So I have it at the top and on the side. If you don't see any of these things, you can go up to Window, click on Workspace, and you can click on one of the elements here. So you can play around with that. So at this point in time, I like to minimize it to a smaller size. Why do I do that? Because sometimes when you select text or you put in something written, you want to see it all there and not, off the edge or anything else like that. And some fonts are bigger than others. So apostle. So that's done and it fits. So I'm going to highlight it a little bit more, make it a little bigger, or maybe not. It's centered. I can left align it, I can right align it, justify it, right justify, center justify, or just centered. So okay, I'm liking that. So if I wanted to change the font, I can by highlighting and going to, I have it on both sides, changing the font. As you can see what I'm going through, and I have a lot of fonts, a lot. As you can see, I can play with it and push it around a little bit and do some other stuff. I would generally say some scripts don't work on here. I mean, it can, but I wouldn't recommend it if you want people to clearly see it. So I'm going to go to Edit, Undo, Type, and keep it as I had it. So, okay, so I have what I want here. I can do the same thing here, but I may want to just go ahead and change the color. So I can change the color here and turn it white. As you can see, it turned the color that I want it to. Maybe I want to change it into one of the gradation if it's available in your package. So the way to do that is to click on this selection tool, the top tool. What's the difference between this one and that tool? This one is a direct selection tool. This one is the selection tool. So generally when I want to put like a gradation on a wording, I will go ahead and go to Appearance, which is here. If you don't see it here, you can go up to Windows and scroll down to Appearance and it will open up. I will then click on the Fill button, and of course it turns it black because it's starting over. So I can click on the arrow and now I have a gradation. So it's pretty flexible, and that's the point. Everything is pretty flexible. And if I want to put in scripture, I'm going to put a generic scripture. And I know I generally, because I've done this like 50 times, as you can see on the channel, I didn't need to make it smaller. So I'm going to change the color of that. So that's generally what you need to do when you want to save it. Remember, the PNG file is no background. The JPEG will have the white background. The SVG file is what you give printers to put it on clothing, books, anything like that. That's what you would use the SVG file for. And the EPS is just to save it for your own, just in case you want to tweak it and stuff like that. If you are playing around with it, you have master copies of it, so you're good. So, I mean, I would experiment with it. So, you have everything here. Your EPS file and all of those things would be under Save As, the SVG. Even as a Adobe PDF, you can save it as such. If someone asked you if you want to save it as a PNG, you would go under File, Export As, and it will give you a drop down: PNG, BMP, CSS, Autodesk, JPEG, SVG, TIFF file. Generally, people use the PNG, the JPEG, and the Autodesk. So there you have it. I don't need to save it. It's done. So again, thank you for watching, and click on that subscribe bell. Click on that bell, because generally from weekly to sometimes a couple in a day, we will upload new seals and tutorials about it. So again, thank you for watching.